You know that fear that a lot of people say is even worse than snakes or spiders? Public speaking. But what if all that anxiety could actually become your greatest strength? Well, today, we're going to build a toolkit to help you turn that fear into pure confidence so you can really, truly own the stage.
I mean, this quote from Marjorie North just nails it, right? The anxiety around public speaking isn't some weird, rare phobia. It's a superhuman and incredibly common experience. And yeah, it's totally true. Study after study shows that people rank public speaking right up there with some of our most primal fears. Just understanding that you are not alone in this, well, that's the absolute first step to moving past it.
Okay, so what is actually going on in our brains when we have to face an audience? Why does it feel so threatening? Let's get into the science of it. Believe it or not, this fear actually has a name, glossophobia. And really, it's rooted in some of our deepest social anxieties. The fear of being judged, of messing up, or of just plain failing in front of everyone. And that triggers a very powerful, very ancient response in our bodies. So here's the play-by-play of what happens inside your body. Your brain basically sees all those eyes on you and thinks, threat. And it hits the big red panic button, flooding your system with adrenaline. This is that classic fight or flight response, and it kicks off all those feelings we know so well. The pounding heart, the trembling hands, the sweaty palms. It's your body getting ready for a survival situation. But, and this is the secret, the absolute game changer, that same adrenaline that's making you nervous, it's also making you hyper alert, super focused, and ready to give an amazing performance. So the goal isn't to get rid of the feeling, the goal is to channel it. Which leads us right into the foundation of all confidence. And it's something that you build long before you ever step into the spotlight. It all comes down to preparation. And we're going to start not with your script or your slides, but with your mind. The very first step is to get your nervous system out of that panic mode and into a state where you're calm, focused, and ready. And these techniques are so powerful. Deep breathing sends a direct signal to your brain that says, hey, we're safe. Visualization is like a dress rehearsal in your head. You're literally creating the brain pathways for success. And progressive muscle relaxation helps you release all that physical tension you might not even know you're holding on to. All right, once your mind is in a good place, then you can focus on your material. This is the ultimate anxiety killer. When you know your audience, your message will land. When you have a clear structure, you won't get lost. And when you practice until it's second nature, you're free to stop just reciting facts and start actually connecting with people. And hey, speaking of preparation, sometimes confidence comes from knowing that even the little details are handled. For example, just polishing your slides by avoiding common mix-ups like your and your adds this extra layer of professionalism that boosts your credibility and honestly, your own self-assurance. Okay, so our mind is calm, our material is solid. Now it's time for the main event, how you physically show up and deliver your message with real impact. This classic bit of research is a total eye-opener. It shows that when we're talking about feelings and attitudes, the actual words we say are a tiny fraction of the message. A whopping 93% of the impact comes from our tone of voice and our body language. It's a huge reminder that how you say something can be way more powerful than what you say. So let's break that body language down. It all starts with your physical presence. Standing tall in a power pose can actually trick your brain into feeling more confident. Then it's about connection, using eye contact to build trust and using purposeful gestures to emphasize your points. Moving with intention shows you command the space. Mastering these nonverbal cues is what separates a pretty good speaker from a truly great one. All right, but here's the big one. The question that stops so many of us in our tracks. The fear of that one moment when you stumble, forget a word, or totally lose your place. What do you do then? Well, the answer is about completely reframing your goal. You're not aiming for a flawless, robotic performance. You are aiming for connection. Let's just let this sink in for a second. Marjorie North is so right about this. The audience isn't there to see a perfect robot. They're there to see you, a real person. And honestly, accepting that you're not going to be perfect is one of the most liberating things you can do. This is the mindset you need to build. See mistakes as a normal part of the process. Trust that your audience is actually rooting for you. Shift your focus away from your own performance and onto the value you are giving them. And finally, celebrate every single time you speak, because each and every time is a victory. So there you have it.
You've got the understanding, you've got the tools, and you've got the right mindset. That fear isn't some big, scary monster anymore. It's just energy. Energy you now know how to channel. The only thing left to decide is what you want to share with the world. So, what's it going to be?